What if our oceans disappeared overnight? The ocean covers over 70% of our planet's surface and contains over 96% of Earth's water. It's home to a plethora of life, influences weather patterns, and plays a vital role in regulating the global climate. But what if one day we woke up to an Earth without any oceans? How would such an event impact the environment, the climate, and human civilization? Well, that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. Welcome to our channel. And in today's episode, let's find out what would happen if all the oceans on Earth suddenly vanished. Changes in sea level. If the world's oceans disappeared, global sea levels would drop drastically. Without the weight of the ocean pressing down on the land, the Earth's crust would rebound, causing some areas, particularly those near the ocean, to rise. The land would continue to rise until the weight of the new atmosphere balanced out the reduced gravitational pull caused by the absence of the oceans. This process could take thousands to millions of years. Some coastal cities which are currently at or below sea level, for example, the Netherlands and parts of Florida and Bangladesh, would find themselves in elevated positions. Conversely, areas further inland might sink due to the shifting of the Earth's crust. Disruption of ocean currents play a crucial role in redistributing heat around the globe. They are driven by a variety of factors including wind patterns, the Earth's rotation, and differences in water density. Without oceans, these currents would cease to exist. As a result, regions that are dependent on warm or cold currents for moderate temperatures would experience significant shifts in their climates. For example, Western Europe, which benefits from the Gulf Stream current, would likely become much colder. Similarly, coastal areas that rely on upwelling currents for nutrient-rich water would suffer ecological consequences, leading to potential mass die-offs of marine and plant life. No more tides. The rhythmic ebb and flow of tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. Even with the ocean still around, a full moon or a new moon can bring exceptionally high tides known as spring tides, while a half moon can lead to neap tides where the tide range is smaller. If there were no oceans on Earth, these tidal forces would have nowhere to affect. So we would no longer experience tides as we know them. Impact on weather and climate. Oceans play a critical role in regulating global weather and climate patterns. Firstly, the vast body of water has a high heat capacity which helps to moderate temperatures both on land and in the atmosphere. Without oceans, we would likely experience more extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, and floods. Additionally, oceans absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere as part of the carbon cycle. Without this natural carbon sink, the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere would likely increase, leading to a more rapid global warming. Furthermore, the water cycle, which is heavily reliant on the oceans, would be disrupted. Oceans are the primary source of water vapor in the atmosphere, which then forms clouds and eventually returns to Earth as precipitation. Without oceans, there would be significantly less water vapor in the atmosphere, leading to less cloud formation and potentially disrupting weather patterns worldwide. Disappearance of marine life. Over 97% of the Earth's water is found in the oceans, and so it's no surprise that over 90% of the Earth's animal species live there. The vast majority of these species would quickly die out if the oceans were to disappear. Fish, whales, dolphins, coral reefs, sponges, and countless other aquatic creatures would perish in the sudden absence of their habitat. Many birds that depend on the ocean for food would also face extinction. Impact on aquatic ecosystems. Even if the oceans didn't vanish completely but instead turned into a desert, it would still be catastrophic. All aquatic ecosystems would collapse, leading to the extinction of most marine life. Coral reefs, which are highly sensitive to changes in temperature and salinity, would likely die off first. This would have a ripple effect throughout the entire ecosystem, as countless species that depend on coral reefs for food and shelter would also perish. Other organisms such as mangroves and salt marshes, which help protect coastlines from erosion and serve as nurseries for many fish species, would also struggle to survive in such extreme conditions. Disruption of marine transportation. Oceans facilitate global trade and transportation. Many countries rely on maritime shipping for the import and export of goods. Without oceans, this mode of transportation would cease to exist, significantly impacting global trade routes and supply chains. Ports and harbors would become obsolete, and industries dependent on ocean trade would collapse. Countries that are heavily reliant on imported goods, particularly those lacking extensive land-based infrastructure, would be severely affected. Additionally, the fishing industry would collapse, leading to the loss of a significant protein source for many populations and a drastic reduction in the global food supply. Coastal communities would be particularly hard hit, facing not only the loss of a vital food source but also the potential for increased poverty and hunger. Ocean-powered energy, a surprising consequence of the oceans disappearing, would be the loss of various renewable energy sources. Currently, a small percentage of the world's energy needs are met through ocean-powered means such as tidal power, wave energy, and offshore wind. These sources harness the kinetic energy of the ocean, tides and waves to generate electricity. Without oceans, these energy sources would no longer be viable, potentially impacting the energy balance of regions that rely on them. Impact on human civilization. The combined effects of the factors mentioned earlier would have severe implications for human civilization. Food shortages due to the loss of marine life and disruptions in agricultural practices caused by changes in climate and water availability would likely lead to widespread famine and societal unrest. The collapse of global trade and the disappearance of major cities due to rising sea levels could trigger large-scale human migration, potentially sparking conflicts over resources and land. Global economies would be devastated with industries such as fishing, maritime transport, and tourism coming to a halt. The combined pressures of resource scarcity, climate change, and societal upheaval could potentially lead to large-scale conflict and the decline of human civilization as we know it. Long-term effects. In the very long term, the Earth would likely attempt to restore its oceans given enough time. Water would accumulate in the lower-lying areas of the crust, although it's unclear whether this would happen in a matter of millions of years or hundreds of millions of years. If life were to re-emerge on Earth, it would need to start from microscopic organisms once again, similar to what happened after the extinction of the dinosaurs. If humans were somehow still around, we would have to adapt to a terrestrial existence, finding ways to grow food and sustain ourselves without the resources provided by the oceans. We might have to learn to live in underground habitats or on land masses that were once islands. Conclusion: the ocean is an integral part of our planet, playing a pivotal role in supporting life as we know it. From regulating the climate to providing food and shaping weather patterns, its influence is undeniable. The consequences of losing this vast body of water would be nothing short of catastrophic. In the absence of oceans, life on Earth would grind to a halt. Familiar landscapes would vanish beneath rising ground and familiar weather patterns would turn into distant memories. While it's a sobering thought experiment, contemplating the end of the ocean serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of the systems that sustain us. It underscores the urgent need for us to protect and preserve this invaluable resource for present and future generations. So do you think humans will ever discover ways to live without the oceans? What kind of difficulties would we face? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and share with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe for more informative content. See you in the next one.